Good evening, I'm Maham Tawa with the news-making headlines around the world. Pilgrims begin marching to Mina on the first day of Al-Hajj rituals, the day of Tarwiyah. The Amiri Diwan conveys His Highness the Emir's congratulations to the nation on the advent of Eid al-Adha. The acting Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister heads a security meeting at the Interior Ministry's headquarters. And Kurds continue to cross into Turkey as IS militants tightens their grip on the Syrian border town of Ain al-Arab. In our first item, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, pilgrims started today the first shrine of pilgrimage by ascending to Mina for Al-Tarwiyah Day. The ascending process is taking place smoothly and in a pious atmosphere. The pilgrims will spend their night at Mina before proceeding at dawn tomorrow for Waqfat Arafat, which is standing at Mount Arafat and what is known as the Grand Pilgrimage. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Subah sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency President Alpha Conde of the Republic of Guinea on his country's National Day. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Subah sent a cable of congratulations to His Excellency President Alpha Conde of the Republic of Guinea on his country's National Day. And His Highness Sheikh Jabir Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Prime Minister, also sent a similar cable. His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Subah sent a cable to His Excellency President Baldwin Lonsdale of the Republic of Vanuatu, congratulating him on assuming his post as President of this friendly republic. His Highness the Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Subah sent a cable to His Excellency President Baldwin Lonsdale of the Republic of Vanuatu, congratulating him on assuming his post as President of this friendly republic. And His Highness Sheikh Jabir Mubarak Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Prime Minister, also sent a similar cable. The following statement was issued by the Amiri Diwan. The Amiri Diwan has the pleasure to convey to the citizens and expatriates in our beloved country the congratulations of His Highness the Emir on the advent of Eid al-Adha, with wishes for all to enjoy a happy Eid full of affection, peace and security. His Highness also congratulates on this blessed occasion the Arab and Muslim nations, praying for many happy returns as the whole world live in peace and security. May God protect Kuwait and its people against all evil and keep it living in permanent peace and security. The acting Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah presided today over a meeting at the Ministry of Interior's premises, which was attended by the Deputy Premier, Minister of Interior, Acting Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs and Acting Minister of Defense Sheikh Mohammed Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah, the Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs and Acting Minister of Justice Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah Al-Mubarak Al-Subah, Chief of the National Security Agency Sheikh Thamir Al-Ali Al-Salim Al-Subah, and other commanding officers from the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Interior and the National Guard. Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah emphasized during the meeting the need for complete security coordination and the exchange of expertise in the management of military operations and sharing unified visions regarding many issues, notably crisis management. He added that this coordination among the Army, the Ministry of Interior and the National Guard is crucial at this sensitive junction. The Deputy Premier, Minister of Interior and Acting Minister of Awqaf and Islamic Affairs Sheikh Mohammed Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah underscored the importance of the extraordinary meeting of the Interior Ministers of the Gulf Cooperation Council in Jeddah recently. He said it was a fruitful meeting in which visions were unified and security stances coordinated in the manner that will bolster the security measures from a preemptive perspective. He added that this coordination will be implemented according to a joint working mechanism tailored to boost the GCC security. The Deputy Premier and Minister of Interior said that GCC countries would not stand idle towards the external interference in Yemen. They also pointed out that Yemen's security and the GCC security cannot be divided. Syrian Kurds continued to cross into Turkey today while the Islamic State, the IS militants, tightened their grip on a Syrian border town, sending thousands more Kurdish refugees into Turkey. The IS advance comes despite coalition airstrikes targeting them. US-led forces, which have been bombing IS targets in Syria since last week, as well as in Iraq, hit a village near Ain al-Arab on Wednesday, and strikes were reported further south overnight. Turkey's parliament is voting today on a motion which would allow the government to authorize cross-border military incursions against IS fighters in Syria and Iraq and allow coalition forces to use Turkish territory. The United Nations said today that the IS militants in Iraq carried out mass executions, abducted women and girls, and used underage soldiers in what may account to systematic war crimes that demand prosecution. In a report based on 500 interviews with witnesses, it said Iraqi government airstrikes on IS militants caused significant civilian deaths by hitting villages, a school and hospitals in violation of international law. The report said at least 9,347 civilians had been killed and 17,386 wounded so far through September, well over half of them since IS began seizing large parts of northern Iraq in early June. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Zaid al-Hussein, said the array of violations and abuses committed by the IS may amount to war crimes or crimes against humanity. In a statement, he called again for the Baghdad government to join the International Criminal Court, saying the Hague Court was set up to prosecute such massive abuses and direct targeting of civilians. The Palestinian leadership reiterated the importance of the international support to the resolution submitted at the Security Council, aiming at revitalizing the frozen political process in order to get to the final status negotiations and end the occupation. From Ramallah, Fatma Abdel Karim has more.
Palestinian leadership convened in Ramallah last night and stressed the importance of international intervention and support to the Arab-backed draft resolution to the UN Security Council. The Palestinians reiterated the need to rally the needed international support for the adoption of the resolution aiming to end the Israeli occupation according to a preset time frame.
There will be an application to the United Nations Security Council for a resolution that would put an end to the Israeli occupation and give specific dates to end that occupation. My suspicion is that this thing will not be passed because the United States will use the veto against it.
The aim of this move, according to top Palestinian political and diplomatic officials, is to break what they described as the cycle of void that the political process has hit recently. The Palestinian Foreign Minister Riyad al-Malki said that the resolution draft to the Security Council will be submitted by the Arab group in 3 weeks.
We went to New York and said we don't have any other options except going to the Security Council for a resolution to determine a time frame to end the occupation after having failed to reach peace through negotiations. And the two states solution became in real danger.
Many read this upcoming challenge as an opportunity with slim chances of success. And as an alternative plan, the Palestinians still see turning to the International Criminal Court a valid option. No doubt the Palestinians are ahead of a major milestone, a turning point that would either take them to a limit of 3 years in which a peace deal would be sealed, freeing their occupied territories, or takes them to the International Criminal Court to be their judge. Fatma Abdel Karim, Kuwait TV, Ramallah, Palestine.
A Taliban suicide bomber targeted an Afghan army bus in Kabul today, killing 3 people and wounding 10. This is the 4th high-profile attack in the capital since Monday, when the new president was sworn in. The Taliban claimed responsibility as its leader called on Afghans to throw the new government, calling the election a publicity stunt. President Ashraf Ghani was inaugurated on Monday after months of deadlock over who won the election that threatened to rekindle outbreaks of violence along ethnic lines. Under the terms of a U.S. brokered deal ending the standoff, the new president and his former rival Abdullah will share power. Members of the international community gathered in London today to discuss ways of tackling the spread of the deadly Ebola virus. Among those who attended the conference were British Foreign Minister Philip Hammond, Sierra Leonean President Ernest Bai Koroma, and non-governmental organization officials. Justin Forsey, Chief Executive of Save the Children, said up to 1.4 million people could be infected with Ebola by January if the international community does not act quickly. The charity warned that a rate of 5 new Ebola cases an hour in Sierra Leone means healthcare demands are far outstripping supply. Save the Children said there were 765 new cases of Ebola reported in the West African state last week, while there are only 327 beds in the country. Rebel forces in eastern Ukraine today conducted an offensive to capture the government-held airport in Donetsk. Pro-Russian rebels have tried several times in recent weeks to take the airport, which lies to the northwest of the city. The Ukrainian military said the insurgents continued an offensive which began on Wednesday. An official truce in place in eastern Ukraine has been often violated. The ceasefire was called on the 5th of September, but on Wednesday 4 people were killed by a shell which landed on a school in Donetsk, and 6 died when a minibus was hit. Tension is growing at the Hong Kong government office in the Central District, with reports of protesters scuffling with police who are stockpiling riot gear. Students today massed outside the office demanding that Chief Executive Chai Leong resign by midnight, saying they will occupy government buildings if he does not comply. But police and government reiterated their call for protesters to disperse, and the police warned they will not stand by if protesters breach the government office compound. Meanwhile, China's state media today strongly backed Hong Kong leader, praising his performance while condemning the protest as chaotic. Chinese ambassador to Kuwait, Chu Jiachun, recently congratulated Kuwait's Chinese community on his country's 65th years of statehood, saying the timing complemented the many recent bilateral developments between Kuwait and China. The two nations established diplomatic relations at the ambassadorial level on March the 22nd of 1971. The cooperative relations between the two countries include the fields of politics, economics, culture and military, gaining steady development, especially in recent months. More on this story with our reporter Badriya Saleh.
In recognition of 65 years of statehood, the local Chinese community in Kuwait gathered recently to celebrate this joyous occasion and share with the rest of Kuwait a bit of Chinese tradition. His Excellency, China's ambassador to Kuwait, congratulated the rest of his community on his country's National Day and added that it was an honor to celebrate here in Kuwait, so close to the two countries' recent bilateral advancements.
I'm very happy to tell you about the Chinese and the Kuwait relationship that is very, very special now. And in this year, in June, His Highness Prime Minister, during the visit, we have signed 10 agreements. So now these agreements covered energy sector, finance sector, and also about the investment and trade, and also especially that we could leverage both strengths of the two countries, and we could do more complementary things that could benefit Kuwait and China, because Kuwait has a special endowment, the special resources. China also is a big market, so the two countries, big country, small country, but we could do more things together.
As a traditional thing, we celebrate our special event, so we get together, sing our national anthem and raise our national flag, and invite all of our friends from either from China or from Kuwait to get together to celebrate together. Yes, especially I think it's a tradition for us and also for Kuwait. Yes, yes.
This year alone has seen a multitude of examples of the two countries striving to work together to further bilateral ties and relations. This month, the Bank of China held a ceremony to announce and celebrate the opening of its first bank in Kuwait. And this past June, His Highness Sheikh Jabir al-Mubarak al-Hamid al-Sabah, Prime Minister, personally visited Chinese President Xi Jinping, with the two sides agreeing to cooperate in building the economic belt along the Silk Road, push forward negotiation on free trade zones between China and the GCC, and further cooperation in areas of infrastructure, construction, and logistics.
Today really is a very special day for Chinese and also for Kuwait. And the Chinese National Day, we do it every year, but this year is very special. The special thing is that His Highness Prime Minister visited Beijing. This is a very successful and fruitful visit. So we think that this visit really make the Chinese relation with Kuwait reach a new high.
His Excellency the Ambassador reiterated his great appreciation for the already close ties between China and Kuwait and his eagerness to see those ties continue to strengthen.
Thanks to a large offer of authentic Chinese food, guests were not only able to congratulate His Excellency on his country's National Day, but also partake and learn a little bit about traditional celebrations as well. At the Regency Hotel, I'm Badri Al-Saleh, reporting for the English News.
And moving on to the local financial news, where Kuwait Stock Exchange ended this week's trading on a positive note, where the KSX 15 index closed at 1,217.27, putting on 5.9 points. The weight index read 498.81, gaining 1.64 points, and the price index stood at 7,647.98. That's a gain of 13.71 points. The number of trades reached 4,381 transactions worth more than 22 million Kuwaiti dinars, with over 220 million shares changing hands. And in our final item tonight, officially supported by the Kuwait Armed Forces, represented by the Logistics and Supply Authority, the second annual Military Logistics Summit, Kuwait Summit, took place at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Sawa. The summit served as an ideal platform to showcase success stories and, most importantly, provide opportunities for collaboration and cooperation in this field. Heba Abdurrahman was there and has this report.
The second annual Military Logistics Kuwait was held with the participation of Major General Laif Al-Azmi, Deputy Chief of Staff for the Logistics and Supply Authority, along with the support of senior officers and logistics experts from Kuwait and abroad, including the US, UK, Belgium and NATO, among others. The event hosted a cross-section of general officers involved with logistics from Kuwait, NATO and international forces, who came together to discuss advancements in logistics operations and the resulting challenges for militaries in the region.
So the summit is about military logistics, which basically talking about moving and sustaining goods and services within militaries. So the conference itself is supported by the Kuwait Ministry of Defense. The attendees are predominantly from Kuwait. And the summit itself is set up to talk about best practice in developing and sustaining logistics systems. Kuwait itself, the MOD, is looking to really if I can say, re-look the way or rethink the way they're doing their logistics. They want to be better. They want to position themselves within the region as one of the best. And these type of forums where we invite international speakers, they share insights, they share knowledge, and through that knowledge share, hopefully we create a platform where people can learn and people can take home something of value.
Well, to Kuwait being a smaller nation, having to rely on large global supply chains, I think mastering the complexity of that, both culturally and technologically, is extremely important for Kuwait to be able to develop the military capability that it wants. My speech will be talking about the shift in the global industrial supply base and how that is altering profoundly the very nature of how defence is conducted, even the very nature of the war that a military organisation can undertake.
The summit aimed to engage in discussions with senior officers on the most critical logistics issues through interactive discussion sessions, to understand procurement challenges and the logistic support required for the Kuwaiti Armed Forces, to learn how to rationalize operations to save costs and improve efficiencies, to discuss solutions available to overcome logistics challenges, and to offer support for training and development of logistics personnel to achieve future sustainability. This two-day gathering aimed at developing, promoting and sharing best practice with like-minded professions engaged in material and logistics operations. From the Radisson Blu Hotel, this is Heba Abdurrahman reporting for English News.
For a chance to see our reports again, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. Well, with that, we conclude our news bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant time. I'm Maham Tawa. Before we go, we remind you once again of our main top stories. Have a pleasant time and good night. Pilgrims begin marching to Mina on the first day of Al-Hajj rituals, the day of Tarwiyah. The Amiri Diwan conveys His Highness the Emir's congratulations to the nation on the advent of Eid al-Adha. The acting Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister heads a security meeting at the Interior Ministry's headquarters. And Kurds continue to cross into Turkey as IS militants tightens their grip on the Syrian border town of Ain al-Arab.